Hello, everyone. Welcome to an APH Excel Academy. We are so happy to have you with us today. We are going to be taking responsibility for our environment. We're talking about reduce, reuse, and recycle. And I'm in a very different spot today, but I am still here with you for the APH Virtual Excel Academy. So feel free to say hi in the chat. We're glad to have you with us today. Again, welcome to the APH Virtual Excel Academy. Today, we're talking with our students who might have some more disabilities. They might take a little bit of time to answer. They might have a partner who's helping them experience everything we're talking about. They might have somebody else type in the chat for them, and that is okay. And if you're the adult that might be helping a student do that, we understand your hands might be busy, but we do love to hear from you. So today at the Virtual Excel Academy, we are talking about taking responsibility for our environment. Reduce, reuse, recycle. And Jay Humphreys is our guest instructor today. Hi, Jay, how are you?
Hey, how are you doing, Miss Leanne?
I'm doing good. I'm going to turn the class over to you.
Thank you, thank you. Welcome, everybody. I'm Jay Humphreys, and I live in Nashville, Tennessee. And I am excited to talk to y'all today about reducing, reusing, and recycling. We're going to talk about why we should take care of our earth and our home. Now, I live in Tennessee, but we all live in earth. What state do y'all live in? Type T for Tennessee or N for North Carolina. I see in the chat box we have Donnie. He typed a D. Must be from Delaware. In the chat box we have Monica. She's from Utah. We have Mary Claire from Arkansas. We all live on Earth, but we all live in different states. We're all neighbors. We have students from Florida, North Carolina. We're all from different places, but we're all neighbors on Earth. And together, we have a responsibility to take care of our Earth. And we can start taking care of our Earth by taking care of our home. We all have to help taking care of our home and our house. Does anyone have chores they do at home? I know of a lot of chores, like washing dishes. Type D if you wash dishes at your house to help. Type T if you take out the trash. Type C if you help fold the clothes or wash the clothes. Oh, I see in the chat box we have a student who does the dishes at home. I know her mama enjoys that. We can all help at home. What chores do you do at home? Monica takes out the trash. That's one of my jobs here at home too, is to take out the trash. I get in trouble if I don't take out the trash. An important part of taking out the trash is putting the bag back in the can. Oh, Zach vacuums. That's a good chore. No matter who we are or what we're able to do, we can all help at home. We can all do chores to help our house. Because our house is a part of our community and is a part of our earth and all the different places we are from. Recycling is a chore that we can help with at home. We can do recycling at school, and we can do recycling at our jobs or our community centers. But recycling may be a new job for you, or it may be one you've already done before. Does anyone here help recycle at home? Type Y if yes. Type N if no. I see we have some that are recycling at home, and we have some that it's new for them to be recycling. So let's talk about what recycling is. Recycling oh, did you hear that? Recycling is about making old things new. Who here likes a cold soda? Type Y for yes or N for no. Donnie, you don't like cold soda? Joy likes cold soda. Ashley doesn't like a cold soda. Every time we drink a soda or a Coca-Cola, we take the can when we're done and we have a choice. Are we going to throw that can in the trash, or are we going to recycle it? Now, if we throw that can in the trash, let's talk about where it goes. When we throw that can in the trash man comes and picks it up, and he takes it down the road, and he takes it to a place called the dump or the landfill. The dump is a stinky, smelly, nasty, dirty place where they have piles and piles of trash. You've got old cans there and bottles, plates and dishes, broken toys, old books and magazines, food. All kinds of trash goes to the dump. And everybody's trash goes to the dump. And there's a lot of people that live in the world. And so if we have a lot of people putting trash in that dump, then it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Donnie asked a question, how much trash do they have there in the chat box? That's a good question, Donnie. I went to the dump 2 weeks ago, and I had to drive my big truck down this long road, and there was trash on both sides, piled high and high and high, bigger than your house. Lots of trash. And everybody's putting their trash in their trash can at home, and then everybody's trash goes to the dump. And it's not pretty. It doesn't look good. And it's just getting bigger and bigger. If we all do this every day, year after year, we'll have too much trash. And we'll walk outside and we'll start to smell it. Do you want to smell stinky trash? Yes or no? Type Y if yes, N if no. Donnie doesn't want to smell stinky trash. Another student doesn't want to smell stinky trash. I don't want to smell stinky trash. But I have a better idea. We can take our empty Coke can and instead of putting it in the trash, we can recycle it. And when we recycle the empty Coke can, we can make a new one. They can make a whole new soda out of your empty can. So it's our choice. Are we going to put our trash in the dump to make it bigger and bigger and stinkier? Or are we going to recycle it and make the old things new? Let's say that together wherever you are. When we recycle, we make the old things new. When we recycle, we make the old things new. So let's talk about that can for a minute. Where does a Coke can come from? Did you know that a Coke can is made of a metal called aluminum? Aluminum has to be mined. Now that's a different word, mining. Has anyone heard of mining? Type Y for yes or N for no. Okay, I see some have heard of the word mining and some have not. Mining is a different word. That's a word for digging. To make a Coke can, they have to dig in the ground and get metal out of the ground, and they dig a big hole with a big machine. And that machine uses energy from gas or fuel. And they dig and they find more metal in the ground. But we only have so much metal in the ground. So every time they make a new Coke can, they have to dig and dig a big hole in the ground to find more. Then they take that metal and they get it real hot and they melt it and they shape it. They shape it like you would clay, if you've ever done clay in art. And they melt it to make the can. And then that can is shaped in to the shape they want, and they fill it full of whatever drink you like. What drink do y'all like in your can? Do you like Coke? Do you like Sprite? Type C for Coke or S for Sprite. Do you like Dr. Pepper with a D? Oh, I see Donnie likes W. I'm going to think that's water. That's a very healthy choice there, Donnie. Zach likes root beer. Nitya also likes water. So whatever it is we drink out of our cans, that can has come through a process where someone dug in the ground, they found the metal, they took it to the factory, and they made the can. And they used a lot of energy and materials to make that can. And then if we throw it away in the trash, it just goes and sits at the dump. And nobody ever uses that can again. But if we recycle that can, then we make the old things new. Every can be turned into a new can. And you don't lose any metal that way. You don't have to dig for more aluminum. You can take the old can and clean it and melt it and make a new can. And it uses a lot less energy. That's what recycling is all about. That helps keep our earth clean
Mr. J.
It makes it smell better.
Can,
Yes, ma'am.
can you hear me, Mr. J?
Yes, I can.
All right, I just saw that Isabel's hand has been raised, so I am going to give her permission to talk. I know that Isabel is an old hand at using Zoom, so she will unmute herself and she will reach out to you.
I like to drink Sprite.
Oh, that's good, Isabel.
Thanks.
I like Sprite too.
Thanks for sharing, Isabel. We appreciate hearing that. Go ahead and mute back up, and Mr. J, you can take it from here.
All right.
We all drink different things. It could be Sprite or Coke, Mountain Dew, Dr. Pepper, orange soda, or water. And then we can take that can and we can make it into something new so that we can drink more Sprite. Because I think that's what we all want. But if we recycle, then it'll help keep our earth clean. And we all live on this earth, even though we all live in different states. So today, what we're going to learn is how can we help recycle and make old things new? And we can learn how we can help at our house to keep our house clean. Because recycling is a chore that we can all do, even if we need help to do that chore. Because it's okay to ask for help. We're going to do some activities today, and it's okay to ask for help or to ask for help later from someone else, a parent or a teacher or a friend, to help you do your chores or to help you do these activities. So let's talk about what kinds of things we can recycle. What kinds of old things can we put in the recycling so that the people in our community can help make them new? Because we're part of a team when we recycle. Our job is to collect the old things and give them to the recycling people so that they can make them new. I see Donnie's typed in the chat, an iPad. That's a good idea, Donnie. I think you can recycle an iPad. If an iPad breaks, instead of throwing it in the trash, you can ask for help on where you can recycle an iPad. Nydia says an old phone. An iPad and a phone are both electronics. So the question we would want to ask our parents or our teachers or our friends is, where can I recycle electronics? Zach says we can recycle too small of clothes. That's a good idea, Zach. So the question we would ask is, where can we recycle clothes? Now, clothes, if they're still okay, but maybe they don't fit you anymore, or maybe you bought new clothes and you don't need them. We're going to talk about that when we talk about reusing items. Because some things, they're not trash or they're not broke, but we can still reuse them or give them to someone else who can reuse them. But first, let's talk about recycling, because we have 3 R's we're going to talk about today. 3 R's. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. So right now we're talking about what can we recycle. There's lots of things that we can recycle, and I'm going to switch to my work tray. And if you look at my work tray, if you have vision, together we're going to describe some items and feel some items and listen to some items to see what it is we can recycle. The first item we can recycle is a metal can. Now, if you feel something that's metal or a can, it makes a certain noise. Listen for this noise. Did you hear the sound a can makes? Type Y if yes, and N if no. Nydia and Donnie heard the sound a can makes. Let's listen again. It could be a soup can or a green bean can, or it could be a Coke can like we talked about. Those are all made of metal. Now there are different kinds of metal, and you can ask for help if you don't know what kind of metal it is. But one of my favorite ways of identifying metal is by the sound. Something else we can recycle are plastic bottles. People drink a lot of water in plastic bottles these days. Do you hear the plastic bottle? Plastic is softer than metal. The metal can is hard. The plastic bottle is soft. I can squeeze it. We drink a lot of water bottles, and those water bottles, they just get piled up and have a bigger pile of trash at the dump. So water bottles are very important to recycle because water is something that we all need, and we all need to drink a lot of. So we have metal and we have plastic. Now, plastic can be different shapes. It could be a plastic bucket or a plastic bottle or a plastic tray. So we want to feel to see if it's made of plastic and ask for help to see if it's a plastic that we can recycle. Because if we recycle the old water bottle, they can make a new water bottle, or they might make something different. Our next thing that we can recycle is glass. We have to be careful with glass. Glass can break. Has anyone broken a glass? Type Y if yes, or N if no. Glass can be dangerous, so we need to be careful when we're handling glass. I actually dropped a bottle today when I was carrying it into the house to show y'all about recycling. And when I dropped the glass, it broke into a bunch of pieces. And we don't want to step on the glass if it breaks. But glass is hard. Do you hear the sound the glass makes? It's different than the plastic water bottle. Plastic, glass. But we can recycle glass and we can make an old bottle new. Something else we can recycle is cardboard. Cardboard is what makes boxes. If you buy something at the store, it probably has a cardboard box. Cardboard is like a thick paper. Listen to the cardboard. It's hard to tear. Lots of things we buy at the store come in cardboard. Here's something you may have heard of. Who here knows somebody or uses Amazon to buy things? Type Y if you like Amazon or N if no. Yeah, I see Donnie and Nitya both like Amazon. Lots of people shop on the internet now. And those Amazon boxes, they come to our house and they've usually got made of cardboard. So if we're all buying on Amazon now, we're creating more and more cardboard. So instead of throwing all that cardboard into the trash to go to the stinky dump, we can recycle that cardboard. And they can make new boxes with it, and we can get new cool stuff from Amazon or any other store. Making new boxes is a lot better than piling old boxes up in the trash. We're going to look at one more kind of material. It's kind of like cardboard, but it's thinner. And we use it at school. It's paper. Paper is recyclable. And the important part about paper is that paper comes from trees. Isn't that funny that a big tree can make paper? Someone had to cut down a tree and chop it up and mash it into like a paste, and they made the paper out of the tree. So every time we want new paper, we have to cut down more trees. Nitya said Braille paper. That's a good example, Nydia. Braille paper is thick. It takes a lot of trees to make all that Braille paper that we use. Y'all want to listen to the paper? We can take that old paper or that Braille paper and we can recycle it to make new books. Yes, new large print books, Donnie. We can make new paper to make art or to write a note or to write for our teacher or to make books so that we can read stories. And I like reading stories. And I also like trees. They make our air clean. So I want to keep reading new stories, but I don't want to cut down more trees. So if I recycle the old paper, then I can make new paper and I don't have to cut down any trees. That helps my earth. That helps your earth. Helps the place we live on so that it smells better, breathes better, and we all have what we need and what we want. So now we have our materials. We have plastic and cans. We have cardboard and paper and metal. Let's talk about what we do with these materials to recycle them. This is where we may need to ask for help so that we can recycle at home. Because it's different at my house than it is at your house. At my house, I take all the recycling, all the cans and paper and bottles, and I put them in the dumpster outside. And the recycling man picks them up. I like that the recycling man comes to my house and picks up the recycling. That makes it easier for me to recycle. And I don't have to sort them. But sometimes we have to sort the recycling because the cans will make new cans and the bottles will make new bottles. The cardboard will make new cardboard and the paper will make new paper. So they have to separate them. We have to find out what's the same and what's different. I have 2 bottles. They are the same. One bottle, 2 bottles. They're the same. So when I'm sorting, I want to find out what's the same and what's different. So we're going to sort these materials so that we can take it to a recycling center. We'll talk about that after we sort the materials. So what I have at my house and at my school is a recycling bucket. I have 1, 2, 3 recycling buckets. Today, we're going to sort the metal, the plastic, and the paper. I'm going to pick up this one first. Do you hear it? Do you see it? What is this one? Is this plastic, metal, or paper? Write an M for metal if you think this is metal, or a P if you think this sounds like paper. You're right, it is paper. So I'm going to put the paper in the paper bucket. I'm helping at my house. That paper doesn't belong on the floor. So if I finish writing my message or I finish drawing, I don't need to leave my paper on the floor. I need to pick it up and put it where it goes. So I'm going to sort it and put it in the recycling bucket. Here's some more paper. I'm going to put it in the paper bucket. Now this one is different. Is this plastic or metal? Type P for plastic or M for metal. You're right, that's a plastic water bottle. So I'm not going to put it with the paper. I'm going to put it in a different bucket with the plastic. I'm going to pick up something new. I just got done drinking a nice ice cold Sprite. This is a can. It's made of metal. So I'm going to put it in the metal bucket. It's not plastic and it's not paper. It's metal. Let's see what's next. I have more paper. Put it in the paper bucket. I have more plastic. I'm going to put it in the plastic bucket. I have one item left. What does it sound like? Is it made of plastic, P, or metal? I like it. Y'all are smart. Nydia and Donnie both say it's made of metal. It's going in the metal bucket. Now I'm going to check my tray. I'm going to go with my hand to the left, to the right, from the left to the right, from the top to the bottom. Always important to check your work tray. Make sure you finished. And then when you finish your job at home or at school, you can raise your hand and say, I need more materials. Or you can say, I'm finished, and move on to the next activity. So we finished sorting today. So now I've got my bucket. What am I going to do with that recycling? What am I going to do with a bucket of paper or my bucket of plastic, my bucket of metal? It's not going in the trash. So I need to ask for help at home. I need to ask, do we have a recycling container outside at home? Or can we take it to a different place, maybe called a recycling center? That would be good O&M homework for everybody. Find out where you can recycle in your neighborhood. If you don't have a place at home to put it outside, where can you take the paper to make the old paper new? Where can you take the bottles to make the old bottles new? Ask someone for help later. You can go on a trip to the recycling center and help keep your neighborhood clean. Now let's also talk about what we can't recycle. It's very important to know what we can and can't recycle. If we put the wrong thing in the recycling container, it can mess up the machines. And then they can't make new cans, and we can't get a new Sprite. So sometimes we have to ask, is this recyclable? Can I recycle it? Or does it need to go somewhere different to recycle? One of the biggest things that people have a hard time recycling are these. When you go to the store and you buy something, they sometimes put what you bought in a plastic bag. And a plastic bag doesn't need to go with the cans or the paper. A plastic bag needs to go somewhere special. These plastic bags can mess up the new cans or the new paper, but we can recycle them, but they have to go to a special place. You can take your plastic bags to your grocery store. Most grocery stores can take the old plastic bags and make them new. And that way they don't mess up the recycling. If you buy something from the store and it has plastic wrapper on it, we can throw that in the trash. It's not recyclable. We don't want to put the box in the recycling bin with the plastic wrapper on it. That can mess it up. Miss Amy likes the sound of plastic bags. I can see it in the chat box. Something else that we can't recycle is styrofoam. Styrofoam is usually that soft white stuff that comes inside the boxes. And it makes a mess when it gets broken. We can't recycle styrofoam. We need to make sure it goes in the trash. If we put the wrong thing in the recycling bin, then it could take away our new stuff, our new cans. Very important not to recycle the wrong thing. Now, I believe Donnie is saying in the chat box that he doesn't want to recycle people either. And I think he's right about that. We're going to keep our people right where they're at. Now, Nydia had a good example. A pool noodle is made of styrofoam. That's a good idea, Nydia. I don't think you can recycle a pool noodle, but you could reuse it. We're going to talk about reusing soon. One more thing you can't recycle is anything that's dirty. No dirty plates. Now me, I like pizza. Do y'all like pizza? Type Y for yes or N for no. Do y'all like pizza? I do like pizza too. I see that y'all like pizza. Now, when we order a pizza or we pick one up at the store, it usually comes in a box and it's made of styrofoam. It's made of cardboard. Now, we said we can recycle cardboard, but if the pizza's on that cardboard, then the cardboard is dirty and we can't recycle anything that's dirty. So no pizza boxes in the recycling, no dirty paper plates, no napkins. It's really a good idea if we rinse out our soda cans and we keep everything clean in the recycling bin. If it's dirty, it can mess up the machines, just like the plastic bags. So we don't want to put anything that we're not supposed to in the recycling bin. So that's our first R, recycling. We have 3 R's today: recycling, reducing, and reusing. Let's talk about reducing, since we were just talking about dirty paper plates. There's other ways we can keep trash from getting bigger and bigger at the dump. When we reduce, we get less, and we use less trash. So if we use real plates or china to eat our food on instead of paper plates, we're reducing how much trash we have. If we use a cloth bag at the grocery store instead of a plastic bag, then we can use that cloth bag again. And we're reducing, we're getting less trash. There's lots of ways we can reduce, and that's a hard one to find. Sometimes we forget that it's just as important to reduce and get less trash as it is to recycle the old things we have. So that's 2 R's. Let's look at our third R, reusing. When we reuse something, we're using something again, maybe for a different purpose. Nydia had a good example. She said a cloth mask. We can reuse a cloth mask. If we use a paper mask, then it goes in the trash. If we use a cloth mask to protect us from the sickness, then we can wash it and use it again, and there's no trash. That's a good idea, Nydia. So we can find lots of ways to reuse things that aren't broken and they're not trash. We just may not need them anymore. Like we talked about the clothes that are too small. If clothes are too small for you, you don't have to throw them in the trash. You can give them to a thrift store and they can sell them or give them away to someone who needs them, and they might fit them. Or you could use an old t-shirt as a rag to reuse it. Now I've got an activity we can do and y'all can do this later, or you can do it with me. But we're going to reuse something that you have every day at home probably, but we're going to use it for something different. That's what reusing is about. I have an old milk carton. Did you know we can use an old milk carton for lots of things? We can reuse it for something different. It doesn't have to just hold milk. Today, I'm going to take this old milk carton, and what I'm doing is I'm holding the handle, and I'm going to cut around this handle. And you may need help to ask somebody to draw where the cut goes or to help you cut. But if you cut in the right place on a milk carton, you can cut out a scoop. Just like that. I made a big spoon or a scoop out of the old milk carton using a pair of scissors and a marker. Now I've got an idea of what we can use this scoop for. We're going to reuse it. I'm going to set it right here, and we're going to do some more cutting with another milk carton. We're going to do something I bet you never thought of about a milk carton. We're going to take this milk carton and make a bird feeder. Does anybody have a bird feeder at home? Type Y if yes, or N if no. Oh, that's good. I see. A lot of people don't have a bird feeder at home. Well, I've got an idea for you how you can reuse a milk jug to make a bird feeder. And you can have lots of birds in your yard singing to you after you start feeding them with this bird feeder. So I'm going to draw on the milk carton, and you may need to ask for help to know where to cut. And I'm going to open and close the scissors to cut out the side of the milk carton. I'm going to do it right here so you can hear me. Cutting the milk carton. I need a hole in the side of the milk carton so that the birds can come in and get the food that I'm going to put in there. I'm cutting 1, 2, 3, 4 holes in the milk carton. I need those holes to be pretty big, like I can fit my hand in. Because the bird is going to fly into this milk carton. There's no milk in it, it's empty. But instead of throwing it in the trash, I'm going to reuse the milk carton to make the birds happy. And I get to watch them eat or listen to them sing. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 holes in my milk carton. Now here's the fun part. I've got a bowl of birdseed, and I'm going to take my new scoop. And if I take my new scoop, I can scoop out the birdseed, and I can put it in the new bird feeder. Do you hear the birdseed? we'll put a lot of bird food in there so the birds will have something to eat. And then all I need is some string. And I can put that string around the top, and I can ask for help and walk outside and hang this milk carton in the tree, and the birds will fly in the hole and eat the bird food. And they can sit on the edge of the milk carton and talk to each other while they eat the bird food. Would you have ever thought you could make a birdhouse out of an old milk carton? It's not really trash. We can reuse it for something cool, and we get to have fun making it while we do. So there's lots of things we can do to recycle, make old things new, to reduce how much trash we have, and reuse of things in a new way. And I believe that y'all can do that at home and in your neighborhood. We can all help each other. We can help keep our home and our earth clean, smelling good, and we'll do it together as a team. So that's all I have for y'all today. I thank you for coming.
Uh-oh. Miss Amy, we cannot hear you. We see your lovely face and a big smile, but we cannot hear you. Nope, we don't hear you again. So we're gonna let Amy, wait a minute, hold on, we'll all do this together. Now, Robin's gonna turn on her camera, so you might be looking at a few of us. Mr. J is drinking his soda from today's lesson. Dare I say he's recycling by drinking it all, and then he can go put it in the recycling bin. Thank you everybody for coming to the APH session. I loved our recycling lesson today. Next week, we have some really fun things. On Tuesday, we are going to learn about February holidays, including learning some Chinese. So that lesson is for our younger students, but anybody is welcome to come to it. Then on Wednesday, we have part 2 in our orientation and mobility series, and we will be learning about train travel. We had a blast so far about learning about planes and buses, and now we are learning about train travel. And then on Thursday, for students who have maybe some additional disabilities or a slower pace, we are going to do show and tell about ourselves. So we've got some great sessions coming up next week. We'll try one more time. Amy, are you there? Oh no, we see her face. We see a big smile. She's got bright red lipstick. She looks like she has the best things to say to us, but unfortunately, we cannot hear her. So on behalf of Mr. J and Amy and myself, thank you for coming to the APH Virtual Excel Academies. We'll see you next week. All right, bye-bye everyone.
Bye everybody.